Howdy, we're here for another weekly review here. As always, none of this is meant to be derogatory towards anybody. None of this is meant to be hurtful or harmful to anybody. We are trying to get better and do it together. So, here we go. We are going to start with announcements, and we're going to take a look at what I did wrong. Let's point out. So, the lighting on these two, on Dan and Emma, that's her name. It needs to be brighter. So, right here I listed that I used a big C stand and a big light. And those are great things, but I probably should have gotten closer so they were both brighter. Emma's a little bit brighter than Dan. I think part of the reason that looks that way is because of Emma's lighter color sweatshirt here. So that will bounce a little bit extra light off onto her face. And Dan is a little tanner than Emma. So that makes things look a little different as well. So since I only had one light, we can only do so much with that. But it is what it is, and there's nothing we can change about it now. The goal with lighting is to make sure your subjects are brighter than the background, and they are. But well, it was raining that day too, so it was a little dark outside, so that makes things look a little bit more nighttimey, and it was nighttime, so nailed it. Anyway, I used my Canon R6, which is neither here nor there really, I guess, but it runs on C-Log 3, so it can change the color of things a little bit easier. And I use a 28 lens. So as we know, the lower the number on the millimeters, the wider the shot. And this is a relatively wide lens. And the wider you get, the more apt the shot is to go and have, the more likely it is for the lens to kind of have a fisheye effect. And you can see a little bit of that right here, kind of a little bit of a curve there and a little bit of a curve here. And that's fine. The main issue with this shot is that we are watching Dan and Emma from the perspective of an elementary schooler. And we're kind of looking up at them. And that's not helpful. It makes people feel looked down on, and physically, not necessarily, you know what I mean. Anyway, we need to fix that. I should have moved the camera to eye level and worked my way back from there. But we had just finished doing the dad jokes video. I kind of did this in a rush, and haste makes waste, as they say. So there we go. I have now spent about 3.5 minutes on what I did wrong. You're welcome. All right, so let's move to section A, and we're at 10:01. Oh, I'm already there. Excellent. So I actually had to redo this. So one thing here, which would be great. So I use this shot. It's a pretty good shot. Dan's filling the frame most of the way, but there's a lot of negative space here, and he's like dead center. So what would be great is if we moved him like right here. And we at the very least, when he's over here, the sound panels, there's another one right here. They're going to take up some of that negative space, and it'll make it feel a little bit better. And it'll make the shot a little bit more interesting, too. 11:33. Oh, yeah. I remember this. So we can see right here. And you can hear, and we're going to the bridge. That's a great instinct right there on camera 2. You can see, let's take a look at real quick what he did. And then we pushed in. That's what we like. We like that. These kind of more intimate moments. You want to be a little bit closer because it just feels right. It feels like you're in there. All right, 1303. All right. All right. Yes. All right. So we're going to take a look at camera 4 here. And this is an okay shot. He's dead center, though. So what would have been really good, I think, is if we zoomed in a little bit and moved him like right here, maybe. We can still see what he's doing. There's plenty of stuff taking up the negative space there. Boy, you can really tell how messy those those are. We should probably fix that. Because those just sit there. Anyway. Yeah, just zooming in here a little bit on Caleb and moving him to that left third there. 1351. All right, this is also camera 3. Great shot here. I use this. I love that he's framed in well. I mean, the only thing that I might do is move him over just like a tiny bit. But that's super nitpicky to say that. Which is why I said it. And we can always get better, but at the same time, live recording it's a lot harder to catch things in live recording than it is in post. It's a lot easier to catch his stuff in post. So yeah. 1527. Oh yeah, this is a great shot of Kelly. Excellent shot. This is exactly what we're looking for. She's in the third here, and yeah, I do remember this shot was like, yeah. If you watch right here, it's kind of the entire song. We need at the very bare minimum probably one more shot, one more angle on her, and that would have been given the option for a more varied product. 1541. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, it's right here. This is a great shot. I love this. That we're getting to see everything that he's doing. And I mean, those shots are great. We don't need a ton of them, but when we can catch them, is great. 1627. Camera 2. All right, so we do need to pull out here a little bit on Dan because his hair's cut off. And when this is the worship leader camera, so we need to pull out a little bit so his head is all the way in the frame, and so we want a little bit of headspace. We don't need a ton of it, but this is the same shot that we had for a little while, I think. Yeah. We've had this shot since the last song. So let's yeah, we definitely need to pull out, make sure there's headroom. And if I remember correctly, that shot gets pulled out a little bit. Yep, there we go. So maybe a little bit more headroom in general, because we can see right here that we pulled out a little bit more, but maybe just a little bit more headroom on that. Make sure we can see the color above his head. All right, section C. Let's pull that open. All right. 753. Camera 4. That's a good shot of Kelly. I like that shot. That's what I put in the notes. It's a good shot. Good job. 919. Camera 3. All right. I remember this. So I'll pull something up here. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah. Oh, that is not what I meant to do. Anyway, so I really like this shot of Jaden. I think it's a good shot. But one thing we could do is to make it more kind of artistic and give it a little bit more of kind of an artistic flair instead of just showing what's happening. It would be awesome if we could move it to the left, step to the left just a little bit, and get a little bit perspective from this side of the guitar. So take a step to the left and then kind of get the perspective of the guitar. And it doesn't need to be a huge step to the left, but it does add a little bit. So I'm going to show you a picture here. Of a perspective photo. So this one right here. Oh, that was a mistake. So I'm going to maximize this here. So this photo right here. So let's open that in a new tab. That is incorrect. Ah! Open image in a new tab. There we go. That's better. So you can see right here how like the perspective is following the train track here. This is far more extreme than what we would be looking for on Jaden's guitar, but if you can kind of visualize with me, if we could get a little bit more perspective, like maybe 25% of this kind of perspective on Jaden's guitar, so we can see all of the guitar, but it's kind of pointing up into to the right a little bit instead, so we get just a little bit of a different angle on it. And this is a very good shot otherwise. Like this, in general, this is a good shot. It is a well composed shot. Do not take that as this is wrong. What I'm trying to do is push us towards a little bit more artful when we can, and then but at this point we kind of need to add little pieces at a time instead of just going straight for pure art, because if we go for pure artsy, things are going to get real chaotic real quick. 10:02. Camera 3. All right, so camera 3 here. Let's take a look at that real quick. This shot here of Kelly, it feels empty and interrupted. So this shot, we should probably take a step to the left. Oh, no, not the left. My other left, to the right. And probably not block Kelly with the shoulder here. And we probably want all of Kelly in the shot, and then we want her to be in... There's a couple of ways we could do this. You can step to the right, get Kelly in the shot a little bit all the way, and have her kind of in the third here. Or we could get a different angle from over here and get a shot from her over here. There's multiple ways to do it, but the way to improve and fix the shot so it's objectively composed rather than subjectively composed is to step to the right and get her in the shot in the third, which would be... Does this one have a ruler? Yeah, it does. Excellent. So we would want her... So the wall starts here, and we would want her here, and we would want probably her eyes to be there. So we would want her right here. So the third here would, if we're counting this as the frame wall, the third would be here, and we don't want that shoulder in there in this part of the third if we can help it. If that makes any sense. I feel like I'm rambling today. My apologies. I can go. All right. C4. Oh, at 10:02. Okay. So let's take a look here. That's fine. 11, 12. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is a shot of Chris here, and it's a fine shot. I used it obviously. If we could pull back just a little bit on this shot, when he's talking directly to the camera, like it feels like he's talking directly to you, and the way Chris speaks is as if he's talking to a congregation, and if you are this close, he's preaching, he's speaking to a crowd, but you're right in front of him, if that makes sense. So we need to pull back a little bit on here so we can match the energy. And Chris never doesn't have that energy at this point. And so we want to pull back. So this shot we probably want to be a medium shot. So I can probably make that happen here. So a medium shot for Chris would be kind of like, oh, come on, Sam. Like a medium shot would be like that. Something a little bit more, something a little bit wider, so it feels like you're not like right up in his face, but you are in the congregation. That said, this is a good shot. And oh wow, that's all I have for this week. So, as always, it is an honor to work with you guys, and we couldn't do this without you. And yeah, it's fun watching you guys improve and get better. I mean, let's be clear. This was the number of things that I found to critique this week are significantly less than some of the other weeks that we've had. So that is a marked improvement. So let's keep it up. Let's keep getting better together. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Peace.